Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today is going to be a little different. We are not doing a Pinterest recipe testing anything. I want to have some mom talk with you. So this is mom talk. Some of you may or may not know, I have been successfully breastfeeding my baby for a year now. You guys, he's one. He turned one on the 28th. And I'm so sad because he's not a baby anymore. Now he's a little toddler. Anyways, over this past year, I've learned a lot about being a mom and taking care of a precious newborn through all of the stages. And one of the most difficult things that I had to do as a new mom is breastfeed for the first time. So, for any of you new moms out there who are looking for some guidance or some extra tips and tricks to help make your breastfeeding experience a positive one, keep watching because I have some really good stuff that I want to share with you. So here's the first thing. Different tricks and tips will change based on your child's age. Also, every single baby is different. Every single breastfeeding experience is different. Even with your firstborn, your secondborn, your thirdborn, none of them are going to be the same. So it's all different. So this is my personal experience, and I think that a lot of you will be able to relate to what I had gone through throughout the breastfeeding experience. And I actually had a really positive one. It just started out a little bit rocky, which I'll get into. Pain. Oh, you guys, nobody tells you that breastfeeding hurts. It's painful. You look at videos and you read stories and you're like, oh, it's so beautiful and it's so natural, and look at, they're just bonding and she's just stroking his head and he's just eating away and it's so adorable to see. I mean, yes. But you guys, it actually hurts. It hurts in the beginning. The pain does go away. So, sorry to scare all you new mamas out there. The pain will go away and it'll be okay if you're able to continue breastfeeding. But what I did for the pain was, I got to a point, the first couple months were really rough. And I got to a point where I was like, I think it was when he was 2 weeks old. I can't do this anymore. I cannot do this anymore. We need to figure something out. My baby had a shallow latch because he had a very, very slight tongue tie. But because he was still, I don't know if you can hear him in the background, he woke up from his nap, so he's just walking around. But because he was successfully gaining weight and it wasn't hindering him from eating, it was only causing me pain, they didn't feel the need to cut it. So that's why it was so painful, because it was so shallow. The tip of my nipple hurt so bad. Started to get raw and started to crack a little, and I was terrified that it was gonna start to bleed and scab and all that stuff that I've heard horror stories about. So I'm like, what are we gonna do? So I decided that I was going to give my boobs a break. And at the night feeds, I was gonna give him a bottle. And I had a lot of milk anyway, so I was able to pump, 10 ounces a time. So I didn't have an issue with storing up a bunch of milk in our fridge and freezer. We started giving him bottles at night, which was actually really helpful for more than the pain reason, but also because that meant that my husband got to get up with him once in the night, and I got up with him once in the night. So it was glorious because I got more sleep. And then by the time the morning rolled around, I was like totally refreshed, and I'm like, okay, I'm ready to try this again. And it just progressed like that. And we did that for the first few months, and it was so, so wonderful. He didn't have any problems taking the bottle. We didn't worry about nipple confusion, which people scare you about. So anyways, that helped out a ton. That was super helpful. The next thing I want to say is it's called lanolin cream. I'm pretty positive I'm pronouncing it wrong, but it comes in a purple tube. I think it's about $9. You can get it from anywhere, Target, Babies R Us. It's like a gel, and I didn't really think it was gonna work. And I was kind of nervous about it going on my breast and then my baby feeding, because I was worried he was going to eat it, which obviously it gets in his system, but it didn't affect him at all. And it's safe for him, obviously, and it has a dual purpose. My son had a little bit of eczema when he was a little baby, and he would get really chapped cheeks and stuff like that, and I actually put some of that mixed with Aquaphor, I cannot talk today, on his cheeks overnight, and like in the morning it was practically cleared up, so that was cool. Get lanolin cream or lanolin gel or whatever it's called, because it is a lifesaver. It is awesome. The next thing that was super helpful was the TheraPearl 3-in-1 breast therapy. My friend Kimberly actually gave it to me, and basically I gave it to my other friend, Audrey, because she just had a baby, and so I don't have it to show you, but I think it goes for about $14. Again, you can get it from Target or anywhere like that. And it's got like these little gel beads in a plastic casing that you can put into the microwave for a few seconds, or you can put it in the freezer so you can have it warm or you can have it hot. And it goes in a little pouch covered in like kind of a velvety fabric, and you just place it on your boob, and you can use it before you breastfeed to help with the warmth, to help get your milk flow to come a little quicker, especially if you have an impatient baby. It's like super awesome for pumps. Because we did the bottle in the middle of the night, every morning and every night before bed I had to pump. And that is just like so irritating. You wake up engorged and you start pumping, and it hurts. It hurts, it doesn't feel good. And so I put that on top of my breast when it was in the microwave for I think maybe 3 to 5 seconds, like it's that quick. And that helped so much with my comfort level. So definitely get that if you are having, what are you doing? If you're having pain in your breast, that is a lifesaver. My next thing would be change positions. A nurse told me this actually when I was in the hospital with Ranger, and if you think about it, if you're holding your baby like a cradle hold, your boob is placed in his mouth differently than if you were to have him in the football hold. That's a little bit different. So then when they suck, your nipple goes in like a different direction. You switch up the position every other feed, you are giving that part of your nipple a little bit of a break, and it is super helpful. Another thing is, a lot of people, or I don't know if it's a lot of people, but I know people who breastfeed both boobs at a time. So a certain amount of time here and then a certain amount of time here per one feed. I don't do that because the nurses told me not to, but also because I have a lot of milk, so I can get away with just doing one boob at a time, which although it makes my boobs a little bit uneven in between feeds, it gives the other one a break. So I know that I have a 3-hour break in between. So that helped as well. Lastly, for the pain section, you guys know it's so hard. It's so hard when it hurts and you're stressing out and you just want to feed your baby the way that God designed you to, and you didn't think it was supposed to be this difficult. Do your best to stay calm, to stay relaxed, because when you tense up, your baby can feel it. Your baby can sense when you are stressed and tense, and that makes it so much more difficult than it already is. So do your best to stay calm, because that will help a lot too. Moving on to comfort. It is very helpful to have either like a stack of pillows or blankets or something underneath the arm that your baby's head will be resting against. Your arms get tired. If you have a 10-pound baby and you're holding it for a half hour, because in the beginning they take a really long time to eat, your arm gets very tired, and then it's not comfortable for you. So I would suggest making sure you always have some pillows on hand, or what I loved and used so much was my boppy. This is my boppy. It's amazing. It has a zipper on the back. You can take the fabric off and wash it, because let's be honest, we all end up spraying milk everywhere at some point or another, and that gets bad after a while. It smells bad, so you need to clean things. So that's super handy. And it has dual purposes. It's not just for helping you with breastfeeding. You know, once your baby starts to do tummy time, after they're a certain age, that is super helpful for them for tummy time. Also, when your baby's trying to sit on their own for the first time and they flail their head backs, because they all do, that's behind them to catch them, different things like that. So it's really, really helpful. And it's super inexpensive. You can get it again at like Target, anywhere. This is from Target. And so I super recommend your boppy. It just fully supports your baby's back and bottom and your arm and everything, and the football hold and the cradle hold and all the different holds. So that was amazing. Also, I think it was like after my baby was about, what is he getting into? Was about 3 months old, I learned how to nurse laying down, and I cannot tell you, that changed my nursing experience dramatically. Like at nighttime, because after a certain point, there was a time when my husband went away on a business trip, and while he was gone, I was like, I'm not gonna give him bottles in the middle of the night. I'm just gonna nurse him and be done with it. And so I created a monster, and he wouldn't take a bottle after that. So I went back to nursing him all by myself all night long, alone. And so when I learned how to nurse with him lying down, it was so relaxing. In the middle of the night, I would just go and grab him, lay him down, nurse him, and then put him back in his crib, and everything was great and wonderful, and I didn't have to rock him back to sleep. He would go back to sleep immediately because he was already so relaxed laying down. So it was wonderful. So learn how to sleep nurse, or to, that's not what it's called. Learn how to nurse laying down. It will change your life. Another great thing that people forget about is when you're nursing, holy moly, you get hungry. Like, you could eat a mountain. You are so hungry all the time. And you lose a lot of liquid, so you're very thirsty all the time as well. So it's very, very important, especially when they're little, because they're nursing for a really long time, to have snacks on hand. And a really good snack is anything with oats in it, because oats will boost your milk supply. So they are awesome. Actually, this is good. I actually did, I'll link down in the description box my YouTube video on a granola bar using oats that I found on Pinterest, so I'll put that below. It was really good. A super simple recipe, and it's a go-to snack, like when you just need to grab something, and it's oats, so it helps with your milk production. So a double bonus, triple bonus, anything like that, and to have a drink with you at all times, because you're gonna get thirsty and you're gonna be stuck in your rocking chair, in your bed, on the couch. You're stuck. So have that ahead of time, and also have your phone nearby. You can scroll, read your Bible app, scroll on Facebook, go on Clash of Clans, you know, all those things. I was gonna think, what is that bubble? There's that one bubble game I used to play that I don't play anymore. Anyways, some form of entertainment. Have a book next to you, or the controller next to you, so you can catch up on your shows. What are you doing? So have some form of entertainment while you're nursing, because that will make your experience again more enjoyable, relaxing. Or if you don't want to do any of that, you can just cherish the moments with your baby and look at him or her and stroke her head and just enjoy it, because at this point it is relaxing and joyful and easy and wonderful. So those are my comfort tips. Some other helpful tips would be to have either, especially when they're little, I think after 3 or 4 months we transferred Ranger to a crib in his own room, but before that, when he was like waking up every 3 hours in the middle of the night, it was so helpful to have either a bassinet or a pack and play or something like that next to your bed. So you can literally just wake up, jump out of bed, who's right next to you, grab him, bring him back in bed, because at this point you've learned how to nurse laying down. Lay down and nurse him in bed, and it is a lot easier. You get so much more rest doing that. You are not nearly as tired when you wake up. So having it in your room is huge. We had a pack and play in our room. We didn't get a bassinet, although I like the idea of a bassinet because I think it's smaller. So I think I might want that for our future kids, but the pack and play works great, and it's super helpful to have. Once your baby gets a little bit older, there are new challenges that arise with breastfeeding. They're really efficient, so they're super quick at feeding at this point, which is so great, but they're also more active and therefore much more distracted. So I find that I need to nurse him. I can't nurse him on the couch with all this stuff going on in the house. Jimmy's out there, the TV's on, whatever it may be. I have to go in his room. Usually the lights are off. And depending if it's almost nap time or not, the sound machine is on. And I sit in his rocking chair and I nurse him. When it gets close to nap time during a nursing session, I always have his blanket, because he falls asleep with his blanket pressed up against his face. It's like so comforting for him, which is adorable. So we rock him in his rocking chair, you know, with his little blankie. But so when I nurse him, I already have the blanket wrapped around him as he's nursing, and then I have his passy next to me so that as soon as he's done, I plop the passy in his mouth, I cradle him in his blankie, and I just bring him into his crib. No more rocking necessary, usually. Again, every baby is different, so this may or may not work for you, but having these little things on hand right there ready to go, when you're prepared, it changes everything and it makes it so much easier. So definitely keep in mind that you may need to find a quiet, less distracting place to nurse your baby when they're older. Here are some of my must-haves that I have not yet mentioned. It would be nursing camis. Those are so important. I never got a nursing cami. I was cheap and I'm like, I don't want to buy it. But it changes your life when you have to nurse in public. I'm not one of those people that feels super comfortable whipping my boob out in public and just nursing my baby because that's the natural way to do it. Like, hands up and applause to you ladies who feel comfortable doing that. I don't feel comfortable doing that, so I'm not going to. So having a nursing cami is wonderful because you just unclip the top, pull it down, and you're still covered around your stomach and around your back, and it's wonderful. And then on top of that would be nursing cover. This one's mine. I think everyone and their mother has this one. It's from Target. It's awesome. And it worked great when he was little. Now that he's older, he refuses to have the cover on him. He grabs it and pulls it and kicks, and I'm like, trying to hide myself from the world. And so having a nursing cami would be a lot more easy, because then I would just have my shirt like this sitting right on top, and then the shirt underneath, and then his face would be covering my boobs, so it really wouldn't be that big of a deal if I didn't have a nursing cover. But when he was little, that was amazing. I loved it, and it was super easy to use. The top has a little rim around it, so you can always look down and make sure your baby's doing okay. Another thing would be nursing pads. If you're anything like me, you had a ton of milk and you stained all of your shirts. So having nursing pads was really helpful, especially at nighttime. Especially at nighttime, you guys. Your boobs are doing all sorts of crazy things in the middle of the night, and they're getting your sheets and your shirts sopping wet. So these are really helpful. What are you doing? I want to say these are also by the company that makes lanolin, and the back has these kind of like a maxi pad. You peel this off, it's a sticky. There's two sides, peeled off sticky. So it sticks to your bra, so it doesn't move around like a crazy person. Another great thing are nursing bras. Nursing bras are super great, or you don't have to have a nursing bra. If you have like a cotton, kind of like a sports bra, but not like so tight as a sports bra, but like more of like a bandeau with straps. Like actually this is what I'm wearing right now. It's like a bandeau with straps. You can just pull one side up and you don't have to worry about nursing bras. Although I do have 2 nursing bras that I love. People say not to get the underwire ones because that can cause clogged milk ducts, which is a no-no. So I never got them, and your boobs are so like different when you're nursing. They're heavier, fuller, larger, and you don't really need to have a wiring of any sort, and you still look fine. So if you're worried about that, don't be. Another wonderful, wonderful thing are nursing apps. I cannot tell you how many times I forgot which side I just nursed on. So I had an app. It was the WebMD Baby app. I'll link the title of that in my description box too, in case anybody wants to check it out. Basically, you click which side you just nursed on, and so it keeps track for you. It can time how long you nursed for. And also on there, you can keep track of your baby's diapers, which is actually really important. I didn't do it all the time, but you know, you would go to his doctor's appointments and the nurse would be like, how many wet diapers would he be having in a day? And you would be like, I don't know how many wet diapers. Well, you can pull up your app and bam, there it is on your app. So things like that are really important. Most importantly would be forgetting which side you nursed on. So that is the main reason why I got it. Also, a really important thing about nursing bras, or bras in general, wear them at night, because your boobs are heavy and full and filled with lots of things. When you sleep, especially if you sleep on your side, what are your boobs doing? They are going out and down to one side, and after a certain time, you get saggy boobs. And who wants saggy boobs? Not me. So wear a bra at nighttime to help hold your sisters together, and you will want to do that. Plus, you'll leak all over the place anyway, so at night you need to wear nursing pads and you have to wear them in a bra. So that kind of helps with wearing the bra situation. Also, having a cloths or something like that, those are really important to have, especially when you're nursing in public, because if your baby doesn't quite latch on right away and you've already got the milk flow happening, it's spraying everywhere and you're making a big mess. So having that to clean, to wipe down, and to like quickly be like, ah, and hold it up to you so that your milk doesn't go everywhere in public, those are important to have too. Luckily, I didn't have like Ranger didn't spit up hardly at all, like barely at all. So we didn't have to worry so much about that. But I know people who have babies who would spit up after every feed, sometimes a lot, sometimes a little. So having that there ready to just pat, pat, pat after nursing is super great and really important too. Other than that, you guys, these are all of my breastfeeding tips and tricks that I've learned over the last year. And I hope that it was super helpful for you. And if there's anything that I missed that you would think is really important that other moms learning to breastfeed for the first time need to know, please put them in the description box below, comment on it, so that way when they come in to watch this video, they have more resources that they can go to. That you have a great day, and if you want to see any more videos on anything like this, or an overview of the Medela pump, or anything mom related, again, you can put that in the description box below as well. Give this video a thumbs up if you liked it, and also subscribe to my channel for more videos. I have a lot more videos in store for you that are coming up, so you don't want to miss that. So subscribe to my channel so that you get updated on all my new videos that I put out there. And other than that, have a great day, and I hope you had a wonderful Christmas. Bye.